Gold prices steadied back below $3,400, and silver slipped again through $33 per troy ounce on Wednesday, ahead of U.S. Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, making its first interest rate decision since President Trump imposed steep trade tariffs on foreign imports, hitting China most of all. China's central bank this morning announced 7 separate moves to loosen its monetary policy, cutting a key interest rate, easing commercial banks' reserve requirements, and raising its own direct lending to rural as well as high-tech businesses ahead of Beijing's trade officials meeting with their U.S. counterparts in Switzerland to discuss tariffs later this week. Down 3.2% from last month's record high of $3,500 per troy ounce, gold bullion today traded 2.0% above its level on the 2nd of April, when Trump imposed 125% tariffs on China in his Liberation Day announcement, a move then matched by Beijing. More industrially useful silver, in contrast, held over $1 per ounce below its the 2nd of April price, but has rebounded by more than 15.3% from the sudden 7-month lows hit a week later as global stock markets and industrial commodities also sank. Violence meantime worsened in Kashmir between nuclear powers Pakistan and India, while Russia and Ukraine continued military strikes ahead of tonight's 3-day ceasefire, unilaterally declared by Moscow, to mark the 80th anniversary of Nazi Germany's defeat. The global economy is full of uncertainties, with intensified economic fragmentation and trade tensions disrupting global industry and supply chains, said People's Bank of China Chief Pan Gongsheng today, calling the new monetary policy settings moderately loose. With Trump demanding that the Fed cut borrowing costs amid last month's trade tariff turmoil, U.S. Fed interest rates have run more than 1.6 percentage points above core CPI inflation over the last year, close to the highest real rate since early 2008. Betting on today's decision now puts a 99.0% certainty on no change, according to the CME Derivative Exchange's FedWatch tool. That consensus has jumped from 61.5% this time last month, when commodity prices crashed with U.S. stock markets following President Trump's Liberation Day trade tariffs shock. June's Fed decision will also bring no change, according to 69.4% of Fed funds futures contracts prices, the CME data says, leaping from just 0.8% a month ago and 32.9% this time last week. July shall, finally, bring the 4th rate cut of this cycle, starting last September, and with gold and silver prices since gaining 31.7% and 6.6% respectively, according to 75.1% of CME Fed funds futures for that meeting at today's prices, but that consensus has still shrunk from 99.9% this time last month. Today's decision was unanimously seen cutting rates to 4.25% or lower as recently as the start of October, 1 month prior to Trump's victory in election 2024. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.